Hey, thanks for watching. This training is actually for new co-drivers who are coming on for the first time with an owner-operator. So just so you can kind of understand exactly how you're going to get paid, when you're going to get paid, what's in store for the future, and what we can provide for you guys moving forward. So in the clear-cut, plain and simple answer of what you get paid is you get paid 33% of what the truck makes. You've probably seen a Craigslist ad that says that. So what does the truck make? Well, that's what I'm about to explain to you right now. So the truck makes, or the owner-operator is someone that owns and operates his truck. So he owns his own business, has his own MC number, and he operates. And there's three major components in breaking down how much they make. The first one is revenue. Now revenue, everybody knows what that is. Let's say we haul a load of onions from Salt Lake City to Los Angeles. That's 700 miles. You'll probably get about $1,000 in revenue. So, and then from your revenue, you have costs. And so some examples of costs, and we'll go through in detail what all the costs are in here just a little bit. Some examples of costs are gas, insurance, truck, trailer, just anything that might happen on the road, tires, things like that. So, so let's say in our example where they're hauling onions from Salt Lake City to Los Angeles, the costs are $700. Okay, well that leaves profit. And so what the truck makes is called profit. The profit is simply calculated by subtracting the cost from the revenue, and what's left over is called profit, and that's what the truck keeps. So from there, from this 300, the breakdown is 33% to the co-driver, which would be $100, and 67 or 2/3% to the owner-operator, which is $200. So that's a typical day's work right there, where you'd bring in about $300 to the truck, and the co-driver would take home $100, and the driver would take home, the owner-operator would take home $200. Now, when does this happen? Okay, so the timing on this, is such. So let's say we ask you to turn in two things. We ask the owner-operator to turn in two things. One is called the digital copy. Okay, now when you take those load of onions down to Los Angeles, the place that you pick it up will give you a paper that's called the bill of lading. On the bill of lading, it will show how many onions there are. Usually it'll have the place where it's coming to and the place where it's going to. It's the shipping documents is what they are. So when you deliver the onions, they'll sign it, the receiver will sign that they've received the onions, and that's proof that we did our job. We delivered the load to where it needs to go, so that then we can go take that paperwork and get paid for this load, get paid this $1,000. So we have to turn that in. Now, in order to get paid quicker, we need to turn in a digital copy. So a digital copy is basically we give the owner-operators phones. We can give you a phone too, but they're 8 megapixel. They're capable of taking 8 megapixel shots, and then you email them into dispatch, which is us. The owner-operator will give you the details of that, but you send them to, there's a specific email address that we send it to. So that's sending in the digital. Now when you send in the digital, so the truck earns $300, remember, on our example here, we'll take it over here, the profit was $300. I'll go over here. The profit was $300. And the way that split up was $100 to the co-driver. So we'll just talk about the co-driver, since this is what this is for. We'll talk about the co-driver's part of this. So when you turn in the digital, you're entitled to 50%, or it goes into your account that you earn 50%. So you'll have this account over here that says, we'll say co-driver account. Okay, so let's say it's Monday, and we deliver on Monday the onions. So on Monday you turn in the digital copy, and so you're entitled to 50% of $100. So within 24 hours, so this would actually be on Tuesday, because we have to take a day to process this. So on Tuesday, you'd see a $50 credit to your account, right there. Now, what we'll do is typically on Mondays, there's also, so that's the digital copy, but then there's also the hard copy. So the hard copy is just what it sounds like. It's the actual paperwork. So we need to actually get the paperwork also, and you get another 50% when the hard copy comes in. Now you can turn in the hard copy whenever you want. As soon as we get it, we just put we put this other 50% into your account. But typically what people do is they mail it, since payday is on Wednesdays, everybody mails in all of their hard copies. They overnight them on Monday so that we get them on Tuesday, have a day to process them, so it's sitting in your account when we go to pay, do a reconciliation on Wednesday. So, so let's say this is what happens. On Monday, the driver on Monday the truck delivers, so we take a day to process it, and so on Tuesday you get a $50 credit in your account because that's half of the $100. Then also on Monday you mail in the hard copy overnight, so we get it on Tuesday, process it, so it shows up on Wednesday. So on Wednesday you get another $50 credit to your account. And on Wednesday also, all we do is on Wednesday we say, how many credits does he have in his account at this point? And then we cut a check. So also on Wednesday, we cut a check. And so you'll see, 50 plus 50 is 100. So we'll zero out the account. So your account is zero. And your account goes back to zero because we paid $100 for 50/50. Now, let's say it's not Wednesday yet. Let's say it's as soon as you drop on Monday, we're going to have another load for you. So let's say after you drop on Monday, here we'll erase all this. You do another load. You do another load of whatever, beans. Let's say you do beans back to Salt Lake City. It's pretty much the exact same thing, but so you're returning from Los Angeles to Salt Lake City. So you do the revenue. We'll just do R for revenue is $1,000. The costs are again $700, and then the profit is then $300. So it's pretty much the same numbers. Okay, but it's Tuesday now, so we picked up on Monday, we deliver on Tuesday. So on Tuesday, we turn in the digitals. So again on Tuesday, Tuesday you turn the digital copies, which means in Salt Lake City you take a picture of it and you send it in. So you're entitled again. You're entitled to $100. And so whenever the digital comes in, you get half of that, 50%, which means you get another $50 credit onto your account. However, the hard copy you're not going to mail in until next Monday. So you won't get the 50% because it won't come in by Wednesday. If it does, if you decide to overnight it again, it will get here Wednesday, but it'll miss the Wednesday reconciliation because we need 24 hours to process. So anything that's sent in, Monday is the last day to send in hard copies to get paid by Wednesday, so there's really no purpose in sending in the hard copies until Monday. But you've got to send them in by Monday and overnight them or else they won't get there. You could send them, 3-day mail on Thursday, they still get here by Tuesday, and then you could get the half of the other half that you get for the hard copies whenever they come in. So long as we get them by Tuesday so that we can process them for reconciliation on Wednesday. So that's how that whole thing works. And we put it all online for you. We use Google Docs, and we actually are just about to put out a system where we have our own website that just keeps track of it. But for right now, we give you a Gmail account that you go on there, and there's something called Google Docs. Well, it's actually called Google Drive now, but you click on it, and it'll say the settlements for whatever your name is. If your name's Joe, then it's going to say Joe. Actually, what it is we do it for the actual owner-operator. So if you're driving for, let's say, Dependable Transportation, we'll give you the login to where you can view Dependable Transportation's settlements, and right there you'll see there's several accounts. There's one for the owner-operator, and there's one for tires. There's one for gas, all that kind of stuff. But there's also one for you, and then we zero out all the accounts. So every time there's a settlement, and then we zero out with the co-driver and the owner-operator on Wednesdays. So that's kind of the time. That's how you get paid. I just wanted to kind of just give you a detail of basically all the costs that you're going to see here real quick, and kind of give you a rundown of how you can make the most money. You're in it to make money. You're driving the truck to make money. So it'll be the same now as you are when you're an owner-operator. The only thing that changes is that you make more money when you're an owner-operator. So what you want to do, there's two major variables here in order to make money. There's fuel economy. I'll put that right here, fuel economy. and there's miles per day. Miles per day. How many miles do I drive on average every day? Miles per day. So that means if you have a day where you just get up, lots of times we'll load you in California and you'll deliver in New York, or load you in New York and go to California. You'll have 3,000 miles to drive, and so 2 out of those 3 days in transit, you'll get up and you have nothing to do but drive. On drive days, the maximum possible you can drive in a day at 50 miles per hour is about 1,200 miles per day. And so on drive days, you want to get as close to 1,200 miles per day you can, because on non-drive days where you're delivering and picking something else up, let's say the delivery and the pickup takes 8 hours. Well, that's 8 hours out of your day that you can't drive. And typically, you'll have traffic and other things that kind of hold you up on a delivery and pickup day. Or maybe you'll just have a short run that connects you to another one. So you'll have a couple days in there where it's really hard to get the maximum number of miles per day. So on the days that you can actually really just drive, you want to get as close to 1,200 miles on that day as you can, which means you drive. Your trucks usually go 55 to 60 miles an hour, which means every 2 hours or so, you can stop for 10 minutes and take a break, or maybe at the end of 5 hours you can stop and take a shower. But pretty much other than that, you've just got to keep the truck rolling. There's no time for sightseeing or stopping, and obviously you're driving team, so sleeping is done while the truck is rolling. You don't shut the truck down to sleep. So, and then there's other efficiencies that are helped when you don't stop the truck, like idling. If you stop the truck, you idle, that burns up your fuel economy. So fuel economy, we should be able to expect about 6.5. That's what we're going for here. 7 is really good. We've seen it go even higher than 7s, and some of the new trucks can actually get 7.5, even 8 miles per gallon. The older trucks are getting 5.5, between 5.5 and 6. Now, you can still make money on that, and even if you get an older truck, you're going to have to do your best to make money off of 5.5 or 6 or whatever it is. So, so this is the fuel economy equation part of it. Now, miles per day, we're going to take. We'll do 500, 600, 700, 800, and 900. Now, I know you can get 1,200 miles per day, but it's really going to have to be hard to average anything more than 900 miles a day because of your picks and stops. So I don't want to be unrealistic here. So typically, if you're getting 7 miles per gallon, 900 miles per day, the truck is going to take home $3,000. Okay. When you very first start out your journey with us here, there's a lot of startup costs. And so the startup costs are like, you have to put a down payment on the truck, and you have to put a down payment on insurance. You have to there's all this money that you have to put down, but we do that for you. That's part of what we do for you. But it adds up to be about $8,000. So for the first 6 months that you own a truck and that your owner-operator is owning a truck, and he might be paying off these costs right here, that those costs are an extra 6 cents a mile that come out. So right here on 900 miles per day, 7 miles per gallon, if the 6 cents is coming out, it's going to look more like 2,700, something like that. So we'll just pretend like these startup costs are coming out for our evaluation right here. At 900 miles per day at 6.5, with the money coming out, something like 200 or 2,200. If you only get 500 miles per day, you're getting 5.5 miles per gallon, then it's going to be about $50 per day, which would be terrible. But there's no reason in the world that 2 people in a truck together should get only 500 miles per day. That means that the truck's only running 10 hours every day. We want it to run at least 18 hours every day, on average, every day, regardless if we're picking up over the average for the week. We want the truck to be able to run, move its wheels, 18 hours out of every day. That's our goal. So the money's really good here, and we base this off of a conservative. I think we based off of saying, hey, you can make $700, and the owner-operator could make $1,400 based off of this right here, where you're not quite getting the maximum everything. But that's about average. So you should be able to get here. You should be able to split. So you're making 700, and your co-driver's making 13. So really, the fuel economy aspect means you drive slow. That means, really, you got to trust me, don't drive any faster than 55 miles an hour, ever, unless you have to speed up to make it. Now, we govern the truck so that you can't drive really fast, but if you want to get 7 miles per gallon or even 7.5, drive 55 miles an hour whenever you can. And then just sit in the seat and drive. Come up with a system where you and your co-driver can whether it's 5 hours on, 5 hours off, or it's 10 hours on, 10 hours off, make sure that truck is rolling the maximum amount of miles. Like if you have a drive day, try to get 1,200 miles. If you have a day where you got to do pickups and drops and stuff like that, well, do the best you can, but make sure that you know where you're going, make sure that you're checking out the addresses so you don't get lost. All these things can reduce your miles per day, and they reduce your fuel economy too. So, just keep all those things in mind, but everything that goes into a business, every cost that you can save it. Just save it. The co-drivers or the owner-operators will have lots of techniques that they can give to you and try to help you out on. So that's kind of how the techniques that you can make money on. Now, I wanted to talk to you guys about where we're going after this. Now, we'll talk about some costs. We want to talk about costs now. We'll talk about costs and startup costs. Now, there's two types of costs. There's actually more than that, but we have under the normal costs. We'll just call these normal costs. Put it in right here, and these are fixed. There's some fixed costs, and there's some variable costs. Now, variable cost, you only get a variable cost if you're rolling down the road. So a variable cost would be something like fuel, the trailer maintenance. So we'll say trailer maintenance, and then truck maintenance. Fixed costs are things like insurance, truck payment, trailer payment, and there may be a couple other ones, but I'm not exactly sure. And then there's other costs that you might not be aware of that are just parts of doing business. Sometimes the guys don't pay us, so that's bad debt if you don't get paid. There's also factoring costs, and factoring means normally a customer doesn't pay for like 45 days, so we have to go get a loan on the cost. And then there's startup costs. Sometimes if you paid off the startup costs, or if we loaned you the money to start up, then you have to pay startup costs. So insurance is typically on a daily basis. Insurance is about $50 to $75. The truck payment's going to be somewhere around $90, and the trailer payment's going to be somewhere around $12. And so you have to write that check whether the truck rolls every day or not. The fuel we want to try to get that. It depends on the price of fuel, but the fuel is typically right now it's 50 cents a mile. Trailer maintenance is typically 10 cents a mile. Trailer maintenance is 3 cents a mile. It's a lot cheaper to maintain a trailer. Truck maintenance is about 9 cents a mile. Bad debt is 0.03 cents a mile. Factoring is 0.04 cents a mile. And then startup costs are 0.06 cents a mile. Okay, so you just add all, so you have these, you have to write a check for this. You get about $1.30 every mile that you go. That's about the revenue that we guarantee to you. So you get a minimum of about $1.30, and that's based on $4.15 a gallon. It goes up or down based on the national fuel average. But with all these expenses, you make about 60 cents a mile to put towards these startup costs. So after you pay off these startup costs, then you start really making money. So one way to look at this is this. You spend your first 400 miles just paying off your just to break even. And then your second 400 miles, you make your $300. So you really wanted to, when you think, hey, I've already driven 400, 500 miles today, well, you just started making money at $400. So you got to keep that in mind, that you want to drive these trucks as far like the graph what we just showed. You just really want to try to get in average 900 miles per day. Let's talk about startup costs. Now, we're going to give you the opportunity as a co-driver to learn, and if you do well, we're going to offer you a truck. And what that is, what the co-driver or what the owner-operator has in is invested, and he trained you and stuff, so he gets of your profit. What's in it for him is from now on, the truck that you're driving, he gets 10% of the profit. So if you get $300 per day for the truck, he gets $30. And we're going to offer you the same thing. We're going to offer you a truck after you're trained, and after you understand the system, and after we feel like you'll be successful in it. We'll offer you a truck. We'll put down the $7,000 or $8,000, whatever it is, in startup costs, and we'll let you pay them off at 6 cents a mile. And then we will let you train guys, and the guys that you train that go out and get their own trucks, then you'll make $30 a day off of them, or whatever their carrier profit is. However well you train them, if they're making $400 a day, you're going to get more. If they're making $200 a day, you're going to get less. It just depends on how well you train them. So that's the opportunity that we want to give you. We want to give you the opportunity to learn our system with the driver that you're with right now, and then go out and do your own, start your own trucking company and hire your own drivers, get co-drivers, and put them into trucks. So so that's the opportunity that we're going to do. There's one other thing that I wanted to mention today, and this is the salary. Now, anytime you own your own business, and even though you're only a co-driver and you're working for this owner-operator that's just hired you, everybody wants to have some sort of consistency. I mean, this is a reason why a lot of people don't go into their business to start off with. So it's because business is variable. One day you might have a mediocre week, and then you have an awesome week. You know, you made, oh my gosh, I made $3,000 a week this week. Oh crap! The next week my truck broke down. I only made $1,000. Oh, it was even worse. The next week I only made $500. Oh, next week I was up to $3,000. So that's the reason why a lot of people don't get in their business, because it feels on days like this it feels terrible. But in reality, if you're a business owner, you're willing to take the risk, and you understand this, so you're going to average higher than an employee, like just a regular truck driver, who's going to average right here. They say, when you're an employee and you just go drive for somebody else like England or something, they say, hey, look, we'll guarantee you that you'll make not very much money. But some people are like, yeah, I would rather be guaranteed that I'm not going to make very much money so I can plan than hope for big money, but sometimes have to deal with smaller money. But overall, you want to be a business owner because it pays more. So in an attempt to even this out, most business owners make up a number that they think that they can achieve on average. They pick where they think this line will be, maybe just a little bit below, you know, and they say, hey, look, I'm just going to pay myself this every single week, and as long as I have enough money, I can do it. So I do that. I own my own business, and I cut myself a salary, even though my profit fluctuates from week to week. So we encourage everybody. We encourage the owner-operator. We encourage you as the co-driver also to pick a salary. And what a salary will do, you have to earn it. So we're talking about these debits and credits over here. Your salary, you can't pick $1,000 for yourself, because you're just flat out not going to earn that unless you're an owner-operator, because you're going to earn somewhere on average $700. You may have a $800 week, you may have a $400 week. You're going to probably on average $700. But we encourage you to pick a salary that's very, very conservative, something like $350 or $400. And then you can just expect every single Wednesday you're going to get whatever you pick, $350, $400. Because if you don't earn that, you won't get it. But what happens is this. Let's say you have a week. We'll write it here. Let's say you have a week. Week one. We'll say week one, where you earn $400, or let's say $500. Well, then we'll pay you, and let's say you picked $400 as your salary. Well, then we'll pay you $400, and then we'll transfer $100 into your excess money fund right here. And then week two, you earn $600. All right. Well, then we'll pay you $400, and then we'll transfer $200 into your excess money fund. Well, let's say week three sucked. So you only earned $200, right? Well, on week three, you'll still get paid $400, but instead of transferring any money into the fund, we transfer this total right now. If it's 200 plus 300, that's 400. We'll transfer $200 out into this category right here, so to keep it above zero, and you'll have $100 left over. And then so what that does is it just takes these ebbs and flows of business and keeps it even keel. And then also, this money that you have left over will be put towards your startup costs, so you'll be first in line to get your truck, if you can do that. So hopefully that kind of explains the salary situation. If you have any questions, now again, the salary has to be low enough to where you can actually earn it, but also you want to be high enough to where you can live, but you're not coming on to be a co-driver so you can just help somebody drive somebody else's truck for forever. You want to get the experience, you want to learn how to do it, and you want to get in a truck yourself. And this is the fastest way to do it. You take a very low salary, you put as much money as you can towards getting your own truck, and then you'll be first in line. So I hope that helps. See you later.